listening to Shoreditch Radio. Yes!
I'm Abigail and you're watching Shoreditch Radio. Today we are interviewing the very talented Thomas Cameron. Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So tell us a bit about yourself.
You've said my name already. My name's Thomas Cameron. I live in East London, just up the road in Hackney Wick. I'm a musician, songwriter, producer, filmmaker.
Okay, cool. So tell us, growing up, what did you listen to? What sort of inspired you and how did you get into music?
I was lucky to have a very musical mother. She introduced me to a lot of popular music that she was into, a lot of Motown, classical music, jazz, blues, a lot of popular music through the 80s. I'm that old already. But yeah, she was pretty instrumental in my Beatles fascination as well. So she introduced me to them very early on and got me into piano and yeah, I'd probably owe most of it to her, to be honest with you.
Okay. And so you're a songwriter, a musician, a singer, so you're sort of an all-rounder. How important do you think that is to be an all-rounder, and what does that add to your music?
I don't know if it's, well, I mean, it's like a double-edged sword really. I think it's handy because obviously you can have you can have your fingers in a lot of pies, but it's also quite frustrating at times because you end up being sort of a jack of all and a master of none, so okay. Yeah, it's annoyingly good.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. And so you have sort of lots of different identities. So you play in different bands. You have a few things going on. How difficult is it to sort of keep those separate? So tell us a bit, because Arrows Down, you play in a few bands, don't you? You do some solo stuff.
Yeah, I've got a rock band called Crystal Head. I've got a collaboration group called Seahorses. Put stuff under my own name, and Arrows Down now as well. Yeah, I mean it's great for like ADHD. Don't get me wrong, but it's.
Are they all different identities? So is it sort of merged into one, or are they all quite
Yeah,
different?
well, Arrows at first was like literally all of my solo music, and it got to a point, especially like I was speaking to my management and my label about stuff, and it got to a point where it was very difficult to, pinpoint what the sound was and how to market it. So very recently we sort of split them out. So now Arrows Down is predominantly the electronic side of the music, and Thomas Cameron's the more sort of acoustic songwriter-based stuff. So yeah, it's helped a little bit, but yeah, it's still quite tricky.
Okay.
Anytime I drift into a dream, I pray you'll come for me. So I can see you in the perfect scene, you and me in blue and green. We'd be hand in hand, hip to hip, cheek to cheek, lip to lip, breath for breath, blood for blood, pose for pose, love to love. For whatever way the weather makes the day, I'll be there when the sun leaves the sky. Yeah, I'll be by your side. Oh, tonight, hold on for your delight. That's what keeps me alive tonight. Oh, every time I drift into a dream, I pray you come for me. So I can see you for the final time, to say goodbye by the cypress tree. Spurred I'd sail me far across the tides to where you lie, so I could tell you I love you without any word. Only we'd be hand in hand, hip to hip, cheek to cheek, lip to lip, breath for breath, blood for blood, pose for pose, love to love. For whatever way the weather makes the day. I'll be there when the sun leaves the sky. Yeah, I'll be by your side. Oh, my dear friend, know as you approach the end, you've done much more than most could or pretend. And all I ask is, won't you please not fall asleep forever tonight? Hold on for your delight. That's what keeps me alive tonight. Oh, tonight. Oh, tonight. Oh, tonight. Tonight.
So that was Tonight by Thomas Cameron, shot in Brooklyn. Tell us a bit more about that particular track.
Yeah, it was a song I wrote when I first visited America. Well, first visited America to record about a year ago. Luckily, a friend of mine, Tom Green, who's an amazing director, was out shooting stuff at the time as well, and we just hooked up as I was flying back out to the UK, and yeah, managed to do it sort of in one take, and luckily had that lovely sunset, so it was quite a nice experience.
Yeah, and okay. So a lot of artists that I've spoken to have talked about sort of selling out, you know, and well, I guess sort of going with sort of going trends and being commercial in order to sort of make their money and get where they need to go. How difficult is it not to sort of jump on the bandwagon and sort of stay sort of true to your sound and organic? And have you ever been tempted to sort of jump on the bandwagon?
Well, I wouldn't say jump on the bandwagon, but you know, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with pop music, or if that's selling out. I suppose like I've worked with a guy called G Fresh in the past, and you know, hopefully will again in the future. Who, you know, we ended up doing tours with Tiny Temple when his record was #1. So that, I don't know if that's selling out, because I definitely didn't make any money out of it. But it's like, you know, I don't know, like good music's good music. So it, you know, if it works, and it, you know, I don't know. I guess
I mean sort of, you know, when you start out and you have like a sound and something that's like true to you, and you sort of get swept up in sort of, well, this is what everyone's listening to right now. This is.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I've never really thought about it like that. To be honest with you, like if someone sends me a track, or I get asked to do something, and it sort of pushes my buttons or makes me feel good, then I'm going to do it. It doesn't really matter to me what, you know, genre it is, or if that's selling out.
Okay, so creatively, what sort of inspires you, and do you ever sort of get, you know, creative block?
Yeah, of course, everyone does. I think the block side of it. What inspires me, I think anything really, everything and anything. I don't know. I think most sort of good music or art is sort of like a response to, or an interpretation of someone else's work. So I think, you know, other artists and listening and watching what other people are doing is always a big inspiration for me. Plus, you know, relationships and all that normal stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So people always talk about sort of, you know, inspirational artists from the past, but they don't really talk about the present. So can you tell me, who do you think's groundbreaking at the moment, or is gonna, you know, be looked back on as having a major influence on our sort of era of music?
Groundbreaking is quite a
okay.
No. It's
influential, let's say.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
you know, I think. You know, it depends. Like, obviously, there's people that sort of affect pop culture and all that sort of stuff. But I'd say, for me personally, people like Johnny Greenwood, what he's done outside of Radiohead is unbelievable, with LCO and things like that.
Yeah.
Film score. People like Burial, Kendrick Lamar, anything from Brain Feeder. You know, that's for me.
Okay, great, cool.
Good morning, London. I ensure you all had a restful and rejuvenating pause last night, ready for today's shifts. Weather in the capital today is cloudy, with a chance of light showers towards the end of shift 7. Sunset will be at approximately 8 o'clock tonight, which means shift 9 will be in darkness. A message from the National Work Board asked that all workers on shifts 9 to 24 have appropriate vision equipment. Transport.org have issued a warning that work train 17 will be deactivated tonight due to upgrade work. Therefore, alternate commute plans for shift workers 8 to 24 will have to be made. Stay tuned for your government's address in 30 minutes.
So that track was Fugitives by Arrows Down. So explain to us a bit more about sort of Arrows Down and what that is.
Arrows Down is my electronic pseudonym now. There's going to be an EP coming out at the end of April, sort of beginning of May. So yeah, that's sort of the first taste that I put out about a year ago for that project. Yeah. Cool.
So at Shoreditch Radio, we're a champion for sort of unsigned talent, and we always ask people, obviously you've been in the music industry for a number of years, like what advice would you give people, apart from don't do it? What advice would you give people who, you know, maybe starting their music career, or it's something that they want to get into?
If it's fame you seek, then good luck, really.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like just be true to yourself and all that cliche shit, you know. But I don't know, just always aspire to be the best at what you're doing, as opposed to competing with anybody.
And in terms of platforms, like what do you use? You use a lot of social media, don't you? You have a website?
Yeah, I'm not very good at it, but yeah, I do have them all, yeah.
You tweet?
Now and again if I'm angry about something, yeah. But yeah, no, I need to get better at that, but that's for the youth of today.
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of, we haven't really talked about live gigs, you do a lot of live gigs. Can you pinpoint sort of a favourite gig that you've done?
There's a couple probably that stand out. We talked about it earlier, but when I was on tour with Tiny and G-Fresh, we played some huge venues, so that was an amazing experience. We played like Hammersmith Apollo, Wireless Festival, which were just incredible. But just recently I played in a band called Crystal Head as well, which is a rock band, and we played in Switzerland, and for some reason that just seemed to be the best energy and best feeling I've ever had on stage, so it was really cool. But yeah.
Okay, and today, what are you most proud of? Is there something that you can say, I'm most proud of this?
Probably being an uncle, really.
Oh, yeah. That's cute, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about it.
That's about all you're proud of.
Yeah.
So, in terms for you, what's next? Like, what's the next?
I have a song called Tides, which is currently sort of on different platforms, which is probably going to get released with a video in the next couple of months, maybe, probably like latest end of March. Arrows Down's got an EP coming up at the end of April, early May. Crystal Head have got a record at the same time. Seahorses I'm mixing as well, which is a collaboration with a guy called Odd Kid Out and Mitch Beer. And Andy Mayer from Philadelphia, so yeah, it's going to be busy, so I'll probably have a nervous breakdown by the summer, I reckon. Yeah. Okay, so we've seen a couple of videos from you, so people want to see more of Thomas Cameron, Arrows Down, etc. Where do we go? I've just set up a website called terminal333.com, which is basically like a window to all the projects. So you can go onto that, tweet if you do all that at Arrows Cameron. YouTube? YouTube, yeah, just Facebook, all those. Anything else? Email if you want. Yes, send him an email. Yeah, I've got my personal number as well, which is open to the public. But no, yeah, just it's all coming very soon, so it's going to be interesting. So thanks for coming in, Thomas, and talking to us. You've been watching Abigail on Shoreditch Radio. Thanks for watching.